Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vegapunk Labs. Vegapunk Labs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Vegapunk Labs, a One Piece show. I am Sea Tactics, and this is my co-host.
I'm Carp.
He's a fish.
And I swim.
Yes, you do swim. You swim very good. You're a good swimmer. Today we are talking about chapters 1126 and 1127, and if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Well, I guess we'll leave those to your imagination. Which words would those be?
I don't know. You have to figure it out. You can figure it out, Carp?
Huh.
Can you do the math, Carp? A real fish does math.
Really?
Yeah, did you not hear that fish now can do math because of all the pollutants? It has altered their DNA to they're now like much smarter. They're like mutated. They're like the X-Men.
I guess I'm the Professor Xavier of fish then.
This is true. But yes, this is Vegapunk Labs. We are here to talk about 1126 and 1127. We took a couple, I would say 2 or 3 weeks off, right? Because Carp was on vacation. And
then I got sick.
Yeah, and then he got sick. And then I was like, you know what? I could probably get a co-host for these episodes. But I was like, we're kind of new to this. And we want to build our chemistry up together a little bit more. So I decided to wait. And also, we have like, what, 50 subs?
Yeah, I guess something like that.
Yeah, we don't yet have like 1 billion people demanding us to do videos yet. So we can be lazy.
Give it time.
For a minute. Yeah. Once we get like 1,000 subs, it's game over.
We'll be slaves to the algorithm
Slaves
forever.
to the algorithm and to our viewers. Let's just hope they're all attractive women.
I somehow doubt that.
Oh my god, it would be great. It would be amazing. If you're an attractive woman, let us know. I'm kidding. Let's get into One Piece 1126. Now, this chapter was filled with a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff to go through. We have a flashback in this. We have a moment on Full Lead. We also go all the way to the HQ of Umit Shipping Company. So there's a lot to discuss here, but I guess we should just get in with the very beginning of this chapter, which is they're continuing their celebration, and let's just say they don't drink responsibly, as they probably should. What do you think?
I think drinking and responsibly don't go well together, and I would do the same.
I can agree with that. Back in the day, me and Lightning Eagle Ellie used to get in a call together, and I would play Persona 5 drunk out of my mind.
That sounds very fun.
It was very fun. I don't remember much about it. He used to tell me all the time how I would like fawn over certain characters' boobs, but I don't know. I think that's propaganda. But yeah, they drink absinthe. Absinthe.
No idea how is that pronounced. The Green Fairy, we could say.
Yeah. It makes them hallucinate, and I love it. Like the first thing when the Giants bring that up, Nami is chugging it. She's like, I'm
as Nami does.
Yeah. Wasn't she like fed up or something like that? And then she just decided to drink everything.
Well, do you remember Whiskey Peak?
Vaguely.
Well, everyone got drunk except her, and she basically did like an Indiana Jones to remember that scene in the Raiders of the Lost Ark with the drinking competition.
I remember that now. Yeah, I always think about that scene anytime I see Nami drink. By the way, I'm always like, dang, she's like, her liver is impervious to everything.
Yeah.
She's a funny character.
I love her.
Oh yeah,
and I know you do too.
Oh, Nami's great. This is what it was. They were all celebrating, and they were like talking about how they were fighting or whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna get new weapons and continue to fight. And that just made Nami just go, unbelievable. She just starts chugging. Oh, she was fed up with him. That's for sure.
I really can't wait for this moment to be in the anime because I love the feast at the end of each arc.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kuma looks so happy with Bonnie, and
She
they
does.
deserve that.
Yeah, they both look very happy. I was surprised that they let Kuma survive. I mean, he looks horrible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's having fun, but I've heard people say that Bonnie's going to stay in her child form for the rest of the series. What do you think about that? I think that's fine for me personally.
I think so too. I know there were a lot of people very confused with her adult form.
Yeah, I think her adult form doesn't quite represent her character as well as her child form. Because like when I see the adult form, I think of like super badass pirate, and she is, but it's like that's not the point of her character. Like she looks very intimidating in her adult form, I guess. Whereas she's not, by her nature, a very intimidating person because she's 12.
Yeah, she always acted like a child, and it's it fits her character to actually be a child that acts like a child.
Yeah. Pour one out for our good friend David, who bought the Bonnie figure without realizing she's 12.
Well, to be fair, he bought it before the reveal.
As I'm sure many people did. Pour one out for everyone watching and all those in the world that bought that Bonnie figure thinking she was over 18. Sad to say, fellas, but she's a kid. But yeah, it is nice just to see everyone happy. I think that's kind of like what these first 2 pages were doing, was just like, hey, we're off sailing to another great adventure.
Yeah. And talking about sailing to another great adventure, someone's great adventure finished in the next couple of pages.
Holy crap. Yeah, there was that 1 month flashback as my timer goes off. Oops. No, Alexa, shut up. God. Anyways. Yeah, we had that 1 month flashback that ends in Bartolomeo freaking dying. Insane.
Well, I'm sure he's not dead.
Did you see?
This is all that we're talking about.
Yeah, but did you they blew him up and his entire crew?
Yeah, but Pell, Igaram.
But that was like 600 years ago. Water under the bridge. I mean, this was a pretty gratuitous explosion. Like literally, they show nothing, just of burning. Like they showed the head of the ship just on fire, which is funny because it's Luffy's head. But
do you think that's do you think that's Oda giving a message? Like Shanks will attack Luffy at some point?
I think so. I think there's probably some people that may overthink it and say it's like a red herring of sorts. But I think the fact that he killed Bartolomeo, and I think that's one example that Shanks isn't playing around, and there's something with Shanks we'll discuss here in a minute that's kind of bugging me. But the fact that he also drank the poison, which wasn't actually poison, it was just basically he was gonna take the poison and we're gonna blow you up, thinking that you're going to betray Luffy and poison and kill him, your best friend.
Yeah,
that's pretty sinister.
The face that Shanks makes, it's sinister too.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, and this is what's been bugging me about Shanks, I wonder, because it doesn't make sense why Shanks would want to kill Luffy unless Shanks knows something that Luffy doesn't. And what could be that thing? Maybe he knows that the One Piece isn't. Maybe he's trying to test Luffy. Like, hey, can you really make it? Because this thing is this isn't no game. I'm going for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have the cojones to go out there and be ruthless? Because that's what is required of becoming the king of the pirates, which I think Shanks is wrong about ultimately. So
I can't get a read on him.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I'm just kind of going off theories and assumptions at this point, because it is very difficult to pin down Shanks, because it doesn't make sense. Why would he go from inspiring Luffy to become the king of the pirates and to lead his dream of being a pirate, and at the same time threatening to kill Luffy, or at least giving off that sentiment? It just, the only thing I can think about is that Luffy eating that fruit was the worst thing that could possibly happen to Shanks. It was not meant for him. And because of that, I think he knew deep down inside from the first chapter that he's going to have to make a hard decision, and he's putting it off, knowing it's a hard decision, but the more he waits, the more Luffy gains. And I feel like he doesn't have it in him to do what needs to be done for him to become, to take the One Piece and become King of the Pirates. I think he wanted that. And I think Luffy is ultimately potentially a casualty in that. And I think he's wrestling, trying to cope with that reality. That's like my kind of theory on it.
I think, I don't know if you remember this, but before Roger was sent to be killed, before Roger, he went to the Marines, he told Shanks something that we still don't know what it is. And I think he's acting on those words.
Yeah, that's the other thing in the back of my head. Like, what if the One Piece isn't what we think it is? What if Elbaf...
What do we think it is?
Friendship? The friends we made along the way? I don't. It's a good question, but whatever it is, what if he was told it's something horrible? And maybe he's trying to protect Luffy from that, and if that means killing him, then so be it. Because maybe what the One Piece is so destructive and world-changing that he's convinced that it would be horrible for the world, maybe not realizing that in the long term it may be better for the world, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be more people that know about the One Piece.
Rarely.
Yeah. We know that some people do, particularly from the older generation. So I think there are more people in that generation that are maybe keeping secrets, or they have it. Like, think about the military, for example. They're in the world government. They're in power, right? So maybe they're in power because of what they know.
And you know someone who wants to know more?
Who's that?
Our dear friend Blackbeard on Full OLED.
Yeah, which is another crazy thing. Koby is apparently a big part of these poneglyphs. He's a key piece. What do you... I have no idea how to even begin to parse this. What do you think?
Well, that he's telling Avalo Pizarro, that's the island guy, that Koby was very important because he was his bargaining chip with the government. I don't think he's telling him that he was a key part of the poneglyphs.
Okay, I see now. Yeah.
So he's saying the government and the Navy are getting involved, and our bargaining chip with them was Koby, and you let him escape.
Okay, I misread that.
Yeah. And Moria got away too. That's an important detail. We'll see him, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm just so... Man, I don't really have much to say about this, about the Koby thing now, because that kind of clears it all up, but that a whole thing, man. But yeah, I mean, Kuzan returns and they've caught Garp and now Pudding. I mean,
yeah, Garp is alive.
Garp
we
is
didn't
alive.
know that.
Yeah, we thought.
Well,
we didn't know.
Most
what
of
to
us
think.
suspected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's One Piece. We don't know what to think. Even though I think Bartolomeo's dead. Deader than dead. Mark my words. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat a hat. How about that?
Start preparing the hat.
Now, I didn't say what kind of hat. Yeah, so
And he
looks
got-
rough, by the way, Garp.
Well, I think that last time we saw him, he was impaled by an icicle.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost always forget that. It's kind of a crazy thing. What Garp and the Kuzan fight. I mean, that was some incredible stuff, especially in the anime. With the recent episodes, that was awesome.
Ooh, yeah.
Great animation, but yeah, I mean, what do you think about this whole Garp thing? Like, what do you think they want to do with Garp? Like, Garp is so strong. What is the advantage you have by keeping him alive?
Well, the same as Kobe's. So basically,
bargaining chip?
they want to bargain ship with the Navy. Yeah. And I think the Navy will ignore it.
Yeah, I think it seems like the Navy, they don't negotiate with terrorists, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I also think
Do you
they
think-
are that cold.
Especially Sakazuki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is ironic that he is cold.
Yeah, and he's like a really deep down. He's not like but he's a good soldier. He does what needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And Garp is probably the same way. Garp would probably have it no other way too. I have no doubts about that. If the military was like, or the Marines and the world government like leave him behind, then okay, Garp would be right. Leave me to die. Do it, because he's been in the
Yeah.
system.
Well, and remember what he told Kobe. Leave the old man behind and focus on the young generation.
Yeah, that's the difference. Is I think Garp realizes the younger generation is highly important because eventually the old generation dies and goes away.
Yep.
So okay, so we think Garp's a bargaining chip. What the hell is Pudding?
Well, we know that apparently, according to, if I remember correctly, they said in Whole Cake Island that her third eye, if it awakens, whatever that means, could help read the poneglyphs.
Oh no. Well, at least all the shippers that were out there that were saying Sanji and Nami were going to be a thing for however many decades it's been. Looks like it's going to be Sanji and Pudding. Because
Well, they fit together.
they fit together perfectly, so I'm okay with that. We don't it's anime and manga, the age gap thing. We can go on and on about that, but it's going to happen no matter what. I think Pudding, yeah, she's going to read the poneglyphs. Sanji's going to be there to save her. And then that's kind of like the aha moment that kind of maybe makes Sanji stop being a weirdo creep. Or maybe they're just weirdo
I
creeps
don't
together
think
because
that-
they're both weirdo creeps, to be honest.
True.
Pudding has literally two personalities, so which is I think why she's so fun. But yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm glad Pudding is a major player in this. I love Pudding.
I remember in the beginning you hated her.
Yeah, because she was like, I don't know, there was something. I think she seemed too plain, too nice. But then it was like the extremes of being too nice and too like, I don't want to say evil, but too psychotic. It just
Like a tsundere, but times 1,000.
yeah, a gap moe, I think is what they called it. I as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my god, she's the best. We need more of her because she's so funny. But I'm glad that's why because I want to see her pull out a gun and threaten people. That's literally it. That's all I want. I want there to be a minor disagreement between like Teach and Pudding, and Pudding gets like angry and like turns around and is like, "Don't make me stab you." And Teach is like, "I will literally kill you, lady. Go back to work." I want to
Teach
see a scene
really
like
has
that.
the upper hand.
Oh, he
Here,
does.
like in the race for the One Piece, he has a lot of cards.
He
up his
does.
sleeve.
He has the people. He has Garp
Pudding.
and Pudding. So he's got insane leverage. Either one of those is insane leverage. Having Pudding, insane. Having only
And
Garp,
have forgotten the most important character that has just arrived at the island.
Oh, who is that?
A character that has so much information that very few characters have. I think
It's
Robin
Kuzan?
is the only one who has more information than this guy.
Kuzan, right?
Caribou!
We don't talk
The
about
swamp
we don't,
guy.
We don't talk about him.
He knows everything. He has overheard every single
has.
place where the ancient weapons are. He knows so many secrets. And now he's with Blackbeard.
Yeah. I think this was necessary narratively because I think without it, you have to make Blackbeard a threat, right? I think he's kind of like the antagonist of the Elbaf arc and for the rest of the series. Like, I think he's...
Really?
Yeah, I think he's the bad guy. I think, well, I'll say narratively, that's the role it seems Oda is setting up. And I think Shanks and Luffy is kind of like the... to close out Luffy's arc, but I think Blackbeard may be the actual big bad of the Elbaf arc.
What about Imu and the world government?
I think this is how I see it. They're also the big bad, but they're like Blackbeard is like
Big
the
bad?
underboss. Like he's the boss before the final boss.
So basically, like in a Persona game, he's the final boss and the world government is the secret final boss.
Yeah, kind of like that. But I think those will be the most important ones to take down is the world government leaders. But I think in terms of personal relationships and arcs, I think Blackbeard is important to the individual characters and what they represent for these character arcs coming to a close.
I think I agree. And he's also watching the Revolutionary Army. So he's interested in the world government and what's happening there.
Yeah,
He sent Lafitte.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that because it's really interesting.
Yeah, basically he's spying on what's going on in the world. He's a smart guy. In Marijoa, they're going to start getting desperate because there's no food going there.
Yeah, which is the biggest issue. If you don't have food, you can't feed your people, and that creates all sorts of issues.
Are you saying the Celestial Dragons can be considered as people?
I guess not. Yeah, that is interesting. They were talking about how starving out those people will cause issues in of itself.
Yeah, because they are crazy. They will do anything. They will order the Navy to do anything to get what they want.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're trying to leverage something here. Maybe they want the Celestial Dragons to get antsy. Not to starve them, but just to piss them off a little bit. Like grind them a little bit, you know?
Make them desperate so they make a mistake?
Right. Make them irrational. And maybe that's how Blackbeard... Because that makes sense, because with all of the way Blackbeard is acting, it feels as if it's all a plan, a ploy to use as many keys as possible to open as many doors as possible to get through by hook or by crook. He's an opportunist. That's what it feels like.
He has always been. He has always been in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and his positioning is some of the best in the series right now. He's got the best position outside of maybe Shanks. I think actually the Straw
Yeah.
Hats have the least advantageous position,
Well, they have Robin.
but that's it. Really?
True.
I mean, they don't have, in terms of like, in terms of like fighting power and stuff, they're much more leveled, I think, with everyone else. But they're clearly defined as the underdogs, I guess.
Well, and narratively, that's good. I think they still need to be the underdogs, even though they are so powerful.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. But 2 days have passed, and Nami finds herself waking up in a brand new outfit, skimpy as ever, dressed like a Viking. I saw that floor and I immediately went, Legos?
Everyone did that, and it's so fun.
Yeah, it's really interesting what they do in 1127, which I guess we should go ahead and just dive right in. They're in a Lego world.
Yeah, but before we do you see who are the characters that are missing?
What do you mean by that?
Of all the characters we see in this panel, this page when they're screaming, how could this happen? The sun is gone. We can't find our friends. There's an interesting group that is not there and is in the Lego world. What do they have in common?
I don't know. That is a good question.
They are the original group that arrived at Arabasta.
Really?
Yes. So here's my theory. Vivi will be in Elbaf.
Yeah, it seems like Alabasta, all of the cast from Alabasta is kind of returning. And they seem much more important now.
Maybe Pell has a key role to play.
Maybe Karoo.
Ooh, best boy Karoo.
Yep. You never know. I would love it if they brought back Karoo. But yeah, no, he could blow up again.
Yep.
He could
And
really
survive again.
Yeah, he could really make an entrance by just casually blowing up. He's like the Colossal Titan. Just blows up whenever he wants. But yeah, so this next chapter starts up with a fire. And they notice like it's this horrible smell because it's burning plastic. I wonder if Oda knew he was this obvious.
Well, and I found two things very interesting about this first couple of pages. First of all, we ended the last chapter with someone waking Nami up, and there's no one to be seen.
Yeah.
So maybe Zeus, the cloud, but someone woke her up and we don't know who.
I didn't even catch that.
He's not there. Whoever woke her up is not there. Second, Nami that ended the last chapter with a sword. Right now, she doesn't have one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, apparently there was a lot of issues with these chapters, right?
I think this chapter in specific is the one that had a lot of issues in continuity. Like stuff that was there and then it wasn't, or Luffy calling out an attack that in the end is an other attack.
Yeah, that was weird. Do we know why?
No. There were a lot of theories that were saying that this was Loki playing games with them and this was all like a dream or something, an illusion.
Well, I guess it is an
does-
illusion to some
yeah.
degree.
True.
It's
Also,
the
that
man-made
people
one.
in this country are talking about the sun god. That's interesting.
Yeah, and do they all know that they're captured? That is the big question. Also, I think it's interesting in the first panel of this chapter, we see 3 people, and one of them is a very distinct looking woman. So I wonder if she's going to be in the chapter, because she's the one that's like, what is that smell? So I wonder.
Burning plastic.
Yeah, burning plastic, of course. And I wonder if these 3 characters we see at the very beginning they're going to go into town in the next coming chapters and talk to these people. Like, are they leaders, like the governors or the political leaders of this place?
I don't think so, because we see them in the next page talking about how the ear god collapsed.
Ah, so yeah, that is right. They could just be civilians. But speaking of, rest in peace, ear god.
Yep. He fell in a rumbling.
Yeah. He got rumbled. Man. What was the ear god, by the way? I know we see him like burnt to a corpse, but
It was a giant bunny. Carnivorous bunny.
of course it would be called the ear god. It's just big ears. But we head back to Big Stein Castle with Nami,
Nami.
Oh my god.
Back with their sword.
Back with her sword. Dude, this was hilarious. Nami's just like, someone save me, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. I'll even settle for Usopp. Poor Usopp, not knowing that Usopp is actually, in many situations, he comes in clutch every time. Like that fight with the ghost girl, what was her name?
Perona.
Perona. Yeah, how did I forget that? Perona, best girl. That was a crazy fight. He was very, very good in that fight. That forever made me confident in Usopp, even though he almost gets eaten by a gigantic cat. So
With a crown.
with a crown, it's a fat cat with fat stacks.
Yep. And Nami saves Usopp.
Yeah, which is the other way around. Nami does the saving. Uses Zeus to shock him.
And I don't know how many people will get this reference, but Usopp is dressed just like Obelix from the comic Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah, you showed me that, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. Because remember in one of the videos we did, you brought attention to that too. Like another character had this on the same pants and looked like the same dude.
Yeah, it was a giant, I think, when they were leaving Egghead.
Yeah, so it's confirmed. Asterix and Obelisk reference. It's got to be, right?
Yep.
I mean, it looks like a direct reference to that. That also makes sense. So
Oda is a cultured man. He knows so much.
Yeah, he's very smart.
But Nami thinks this might be an hallucination by the alcohol.
And it's
So
not.
Usopp says, then hallucinations can't hurt me. He immediately gets destroyed.
yeah. And I love Nami's face. It is just the ugliest. Like her pupils are white. She's just tears and snot running from her eyes and nose. Her hands
It's
are like
amazing.
Dude, it was so funny. It just the seeing the gigantic cat with the crown on. It just made me immediately go, okay, they're. At this point, I was like, they definitely are in like some world that is set up by these giants, and they are in Elbaf for sure.
I thought this was going to be a different arc. That we were going to do a stop before Elbaf.
You see, I thought that too, but I think the thing that convinced me otherwise was the outfits.
Yeah.
Because I think the outfits kind of sell it, because it's like, oh, they're all wearing like Viking uniforms and stuff. So it makes the most sense to me, at the very least. But
And Usopp grew a beard.
yeah, Usopp somehow grew an entire beard. I wonder if Sniper King is going to show up and help them out.
I hope so. He's been away for far too long.
Yeah, he has. It's really unfortunate too, because he was just starting to gain a lot of traction as a character, and he just disappeared. I wonder what Oda's doing with that character.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Sanji shows up,
Well,
and the rest of them actually show up at the end to reunite
Yeah.
and save them all.
as Nami is using Usopp as a shield.
Oh my god. I love Nami. She's the best. She is the smartest, clearly, out of all of them. Which is true.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely
And we see
true.
the outfits of the rest of the crew. Which one is your favorite?
I hate to say this. I think Sanji.
It's Nami's, right?
No, it's definitely Sanji.
For me, it's Luffy.
Luffy's cool too.
I love
I like the
the-
horns.
Yeah, and I love that the helmet is way too big for him.
Yeah. It kind of fits his character. Being very kiddish in ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't really like Zoro's that much, to be honest.
I've heard that a lot, actually.
I think it's the goggles, but also the shoulder pads. I don't know. If it was without that, it would be pretty cool. It'd be like some medieval armor looking stuff, like tough leather and yeah, it looks like light armor, so to speak. Nami's is whatever. I mean, it's nothing special. Usopp's is pretty cool. I like Usopp's as well. I think Usopp and Sanji are my favorite.
Hmm.
Followed by
Well-
Luffy, then Zoro, and then at the bottom, probably Nami.
And Zoro, he had one of the best outfits in Egghead, so I guess he drew the short straw here.
Yeah, the shortest straw. Yeah, seems that's what Oda has decided to do. But is there anything else that we want to bring up with these chapters that we missed, or you want to mention?
Well, I'm glad to be back, and I really like I love the start of an arc. I don't know if for you it's the first time that you start an arc like reading weekly.
Yeah, this is the first time, so I feel much more connected to this arc than previous arcs. Like previous arcs, I've always had the issue because I'm reading, and I'm not reading week to week. Like I forget things because I'm consuming so much One Piece. Now it's like I can slow down and one chapter
Digest.
every week. That's it. And it's much more
Yes.
manageable in terms of memorizing this stuff. So if there's any point in the future where it seems like I don't know what I'm talking about, it's probably because I don't remember it. And I was never taking notes while watching it for the most part. So it's rough out here, man. Super
Yeah,
duper
but-
rough.
It's so fun, like the chaos of the beginning of an arc. Like every chapter is like the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Then as the arc advances, it starts like getting not slower, but more information dumps, more action scenes. The beginning is just chaos and the crew interacting with each other.
Yeah. He's got a good formula going for these. My favorite moments in One Piece always are the beginning, middle, and end of an arc.
So the entire arc.
Well, like more specifically, like the very beginning, the very middle, and then the very end. The stuff in between those, like the bridges to get to those moments.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've come to the end of another great episode of Vegapunk Labs. I hope everyone here enjoyed it. If you haven't already, we would definitely appreciate if you dropped a like and if you subscribe, because we are covering chapters every week when they come out, unless, one of us is on vacation or we need a break, in which we will tell you in our community tab, which, speaking of, we don't have a community tab, but if you subscribe and get us to 500 subs, we would. So, and we would greatly appreciate that. So, Carp, anything you want to tell the people before we head out?
Well, I'm glad to be back, like I said earlier, and we'll see you in the next 2 chapters.
Yep. It's coming out here soon. Probably tomorrow? Wednesday? Tuesday? I don't know.
Monday, Friday?
Yeah, we have like a backlog, so I'm not sure. We will definitely see you this coming Friday for a new chapter. But for our next set of chapters, I don't know when those will be coming out, since, we're kind of behind on those. So we may release them like 2 days in a row. Who knows?
Goodbye.
Yep.
And have a nice day.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.